Good evening, guys. Welcome to another episode of The Drop Zone. I'm your host, Jonezy, as usual. And as you can see, my wonderful panel are here with me tonight as well. So let me start by introducing them. First of all, Craig, how you doing, mate? Welcome back.
Yeah, all good, mate. Thanks for having me.
How's your week been so far, all right?
Yeah, busy, mate. Yeah, pretty busy. But yeah, we march on.
We keep going. And Jake, welcome back. A couple of weeks off. Nice to have you back.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah, I'm good. I'm back.
Excellent. And Adam, the same as well. A couple of weeks off. Nice to see you back on.
Yeah, we all went away together, didn't we tell you?
left me at home doing the show, didn't you?
Yeah, it's terrific. Yeah, it's good to be back. Thank you.
No worries. Was it terrific the time away from me or terrific the trip?
Take it how you will.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, interpret as you will, yeah.
And Tony, good to have you back on as well, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks. Unlike the others, I'm not a part-time scheduler. I'm here every week.
Shots fired.
Someone's brown nosing for a title belt, it seems to me. Speaking of title belts, Tariq, former champion, how you doing, pal?
I'm good, thanks yourself.
Not too bad, mate. How's your week been?
It's been hectic. Laid the verbal smackdown on someone, so it's been interesting.
Excellent. Did you come out on top?
Of course I did. I'm the final boss.
Excellent. That's what we like to hear.
Debatable.
So yeah, we're going to kick you off now. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to just take the top 5 things from SmackDown and Raw each week and discuss them rather than go through absolutely every detail of the show, which leaves us more time to talk and get to know our guests and panel. So we'll kick things off with SmackDown. And one of the main talking points was Nia Jax, who Nick Aldis brought into the ring. It was her coronation ceremony, and it was soon interrupted, wasn't it, by Bayley. But before she could even get to the ring, Piper Niven and Chelsea Green attacked her. Craig, I'll start with you. Is this all basically setting up SummerSlam, but also setting up Piper Niven to have a title match at Clash of the Castle?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're just trying to get the sort of Scottish talent onto the show and getting it all set in motion now. I mean, it makes sense. I think it could potentially be an all right match. It won't be amazing, but it won't be terrible at the same time. I don't think if Clash at the Castle was around the corner, Piper Niven would even be anywhere near it. Mm-hmm. But I get the draw. It's, your hometown. You don't get to wrestle there often. It makes sense for where we're at the moment.
Cool. And I'll go over to you, Adam, next. Do you like that WWE do that? Do you like that they give the homegrown talent, when it's in their country, a chance to shine in the main events?
Yes, I do. And I think, Craig used the right word. It's a draw, isn't it? Like when he had Zelina Vega when they were over in Puerto Rico or whatever. Obviously, Drew McIntyre's been main event as well. But I think it makes sense, particularly, in that women's division, without going off and answering something else. Bayley, I still think, seems a bit kind of lost at the moment. She's kind of gone back babyface and won the title, but what's she doing? She needs kind of a focus. So, yeah, having a big kind of marquee in terms of the market they're doing in match at Clash of the Castle with the women's division makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, it does indeed. And with yourself, Tony, I'll ask you about Nia Jax. Is she the person that could take the title from Bayley at SummerSlam? Because we're all guessing, obviously, Bayley's going to retain at Clash of the Castle. We don't know, but we'll go with that assumption. Would you like to see Nia Jax actually do it?
Yeah, I would. Again, I've not really been very backed her a lot. I haven't backed her a lot. But then lately, her work, since she's come back, and they've given her this mega push. Like, she does seem. I think she will win the belt eventually, because, like Adam just said, I think that Bayley's just lost. She's just in the middle, and she's a face. She's a heel. She doesn't make no sense. She doesn't connect with anything at the moment. I think Nia Jax is making that connection, even if it's the boos she's getting. She's still doing her best work I've seen in a long time. So, yeah, I think she could potentially take the belt from her at SummerSlam.
And Tariq, I'll just go back over to you. Do you feel this harms the talent like Piper Niven? where it's good for her that she's going to main event, but then what's she going to do after? Go back to being with Chelsea Green and along that stage? Do you think that's a bit harmful?
No, I don't really think it's harmful. I think what it is Piper Niven would never have got to sort of a main event type feel, like what Tom put in the comments, where she'll have the match and then go back to being Chelsea's sidekick. At least now she might get that match, not 20 minutes, but 15 minutes or so, where there's a fight, she's dominant and so on. And then she can use that as experience going forward, because when Chelsea and her split up, she might go to not main event, but mid main event type thing, and sort of have better matches there. And it's put her in with Bailey, who's good at selling injuries and so on, and being thrown a bit like a ragdoll. It will work for her. So as long as it's any experience is good experience, really. So I think it'll be good for her.
Yeah. Just want to say hello as well. Good evening to Mr. Tom as well. Welcome back again. Our regular viewer every week. We need to get you on the show, mate. We were talking about it the last couple of weeks, but it'd be great to have you on as well. And Jake, I'll go over to you with Bailey. Adam mentioned it as well. She's a bit lost at the moment since she's got the title at WrestleMania. Do you see her holding on to it long? Do you see her beating Nia Jax potentially at SummerSlam and then carrying on with the title, or do you feel she might drop it?
I think she might have a chance at SummerSlam. I don't know. If I see more of Nia Jax, then I would probably answer the question clearer. But I just don't know what could happen. I want Bailey to win, but I just think that as they're pushing Nia Jax a bit more than usual, I think she might have a chance of beating Bailey at SummerSlam. Or if it does go to... Oh, yeah. They are going SummerSlam, sorry. But yeah, I think she has got sort of a chance.
Yeah, cool. And I'm just going to throw this question out to anybody. If, Nia Jax does win it, I'm going to ask you all now for a name, who could you see her feuding with? I know we can't predict the future, but who would you like to see her feud with on that SmackDown roster? I'll start with you, Craig.
I think, did Cargill get drafted to SmackDown? Or she Raw?
They're on both shows, aren't they? Because they got the tag.
Yeah, but what happens if they drop the titles? Where are they drafted to?
She's on SmackDown.
If she's on SmackDown and we eventually see Cargill and Belair split up, I'd quite like to see either Cargill or Belair, I think, feuding with her. Unless there's two ladies that will not be mentioned because one of them might get someone excited. If she comes back, that might be potentially another feud that could happen. But I think if they were to come back, they'd be more prominent on Raw, maybe. But yeah, Cargill or Belair, I'd say. I can't choose between.
Adam, yourself?
So again, I'm trying to remember who's on what show again at the moment. I was thinking Naomi possibly, because she's kind of treaded water quite a bit since she returned at the Rumble, and probably needs to be a bit more featured, and probably deserves a championship run, even if an unsuccessful one. A run out to the championship, I should say.
Tony?
Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, the forgotten lady, the forgotten queen.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I'm not going to mention Alexa Bliss because I think
there it is.
I'm putting money in a swear box every time I mention her name. So. But yeah, I think Charlotte Flair is probably a good call. I don't know where I don't think she was drafted anywhere because of her being out injured. But she seems like she's posting a lot and doing a lot lately on social. So maybe her.
I think what we should do is every time you mention Alexa Bliss, you should have a 30-second timeout. So see you later.
Oh, jeez. You really have got rid of him.
We'll bring you back.
Sent to the naughty corner.
I won't even be here.
Tariq, over to you.
I think the hoodie gives it away. No, I actually do think it'll be Jade Cargill because of with the Queen of the Ring match, she didn't beat Cargill, so it'll be like
Yeah.
You didn't beat me. I actually got disqualified, so I should get the actual opportunity. So I see Nia Jax winning it at SummerSlam, and then Cargill winning it, maybe Survivor Series, Royal Rumble time, and that's where Bianca and Jade will have the arguments and so on. But I think they will push Cargill once the tag team thing's done.
And Jake, I know you want Bayley to win, so we'll ask you a different question. Who would you like to see Bayley face after SummerSlam?
Well, I think if Damage Control sort of split up, I can either see Kairi Sane, or I was going to go first with what Tony said with Charlotte Flair as well, but I thought just to shake it up, I think if Damage Control split up, because there's only like two of them now, EO and no, three of them, EO, Kari and Dakota. But if they do end up splitting, I would say Kairi Sane to go against Bayley, so we could possibly win it. Yeah,
that's a good shout, to be fair. So we'll move on to the next talking point, which was the Kevin Owens and Paul Heyman segment, and it was pretty emotional from Mr. Heyman. He's, it just goes to show what a great advocate he is, and great, actor and stuff like that, with the way he can pour his emotion out. And then obviously it led into Kevin Owens having a fight with the Bloodline, who was then helped by the Street Profits. I'll go to you, Adam, first. What was your thoughts on, firstly, the promo, and then also now Kevin Owens having this war with the Badline, as you named them. What was your thoughts on that whole segment?
So, much like you said, obviously really enjoyed it. Everything with Paul Heyman on is always a good segment, isn't it? Anytime he's cutting a promo is gold dust, if, not him. I like the whole thing. It's very intriguing, as, it's kind of keeping Roman Reigns present without him being there, if that makes sense, because it's kind of bubbling away. What does Roman really think about what's going on? Whose side is he really on? And one thing I will say, just as a quick aside, Kevin Owens looks in incredible shape at the moment. So good luck to him on that. I noticed that, and that was good to see. The one thing, and I had a question actually, because I mentioned before the show, I've missed a couple of weeks. Are the Street Profits done with Bobby Lashley and all that now? Are they completely separated from him?
They're still with BFAB.
No,
I
don't think that's been explained or anything.
So
is he injured at the minute?
Yeah, Bobby Lashley's injured. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe that's why then.
Was he with Big E doing that stem cell thing? I see something online about.
Not sure.
Don't know.
I know Big. Oh, okay.
Because I remember the last kind of significant kind of chapter for the Street Profits, as it were, was when they were kind of dropping the whole, I don't know, happy-go-lucky baby faces things and being a bit more serious and wearing the suits and all of that. But that seems to have kind of reset back to what we know them as, which is fine. It's not a bad thing. But yeah, obviously a war with, maybe that's building up to a nice, tasty six-man with Kevin Owens and them against Solo, Tama and Tonga, whatever the two guys are called now, Tonga Loa and Tama. So forgive me, I forgot getting the names mixed up.
Yeah.
Good segment. Love Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
It's obviously building towards something which I'd like to see. So yeah, thumbs up from me.
Cool. And I'll go to you, Craig, with the next one. Do you think we could see Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton versus the Bloodline?
Possibly. Maybe not at a PLE. That might be like a thrown together SmackDown match, maybe. But I think it's going to be more Roman, maybe build bridges with certain people, i.e. the Usos, maybe. And then we get that. But it could be the build-up when it's all happening, when maybe Roman's trying to not earn his strikes, but build them bridges. Maybe he does with KO, Randy. You sort of get that match on SmackDown. Be good to see them three. I mean, it's PLE worthy, isn't it? But I just don't see it going to that. It might just happen on SmackDown.
Because I'm just thinking, because I know Jimmy's quite ill. I don't know if you guys have seen, but Rikishi's been asking for us to say prayers for his son. So there is something
really
seriously wrong with Jimmy at the moment. There's been no disclosure of what it is or what he's got. So I don't see him coming back for the foreseeable. But I'm just.
That would be quite. It would be quite interesting then if maybe the other. What's the name of the other bloke that's due to be coming in?
Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, maybe he joins as the fourth member of the Bad Line, and maybe they mix it up, and we do get potentially maybe KO, Randy, Jay, and Roman. If that, I didn't know about the Jimmy.
I don't.
So maybe that does mix it up a little bit. So yeah, maybe we do get that if they decide to change it up a little bit, or it could be Fatu actually comes and it's Roman, Fatu, and Jay.
Yeah.
So
then there is like the well, not Roman, but Sela, is it the other brother? His brother.
Oh yeah, the other there's another one, and there's loads of them. To be fair,
I'm gonna say it's never ending, isn't it?
It's never ending. Yeah, they have shares in hoodies, but yeah, there is another brother. There's loads of brothers. To be fair, so it could be anyone that turns up. To be fair, could even be Rikishi at this point. Tony, I'll go to you with Tangaloa and Tamatonga. What was you impressed? Because it's the first time we saw Tangaloa in the ring action. What was your thoughts on the match with the Street Profits?
Yeah, I thought it was a good match. I mean, it's the first time we've all really officially seen them. We've seen them on bits and clips and from their old wrestling and that when they were tagging together. But they seem really intense. They seem really like they seem quite stiff with their punches, and it was a good match. Some of the moves I was a bit like, I think it was Dawkins done the flip over the rope.
Yeah.
And as he'd done it, they moved out of the way. They didn't catch him. He landed straight on his ass. Like, it's literally, but it was quite cool. It reminded me a bit of like where Ricochet did the outside of the ring thing, but not as classy. But yeah, no, it was a good match. Yeah, impressed to see them. I think them Solo and in the Bad Line, I think that's a good combination. I think they'll only go from strength to strength. I think we could even see a potential tag team title run with them, and then obviously if Jimmy gets well and he comes back, we could have them two feuding for that. We could also have, like you say, Fatu could come back, and there was that talk about him being slightly more over than Solo. So if he does come back, does he go into the Bad Line and then turn on them to join Roman to Bloodline, and then you could have a feud between Fatu and Solo? Don't know, but there's loads of things that could happen. But yeah, I like the match. It was a good match, and I'm excited to see what it holds. And again, I think with the Street Profits, I think they might just need to split up. I think it's time. I think there's a lot of talk as well when I was reading during the week, and they were saying that the backstage are very, very high on Angelo Dawkins. They're really, really impressed with him. Because obviously it's Montez Ford that normally gets all the plaudits and everything, and rightly so, because he looks like a star and he acts like a star, but it's always the forgotten man, and I think I think they need to just go their separate ways, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. And Tariq, I'll go to you in the next one. Before Kevin Owens come out, Solo told Paul Heyman that Cody Rhodes is in check and he doesn't even know it. Who is the person keeping him in check?
God knows who that.
In your opinion, because obviously we're not writers.
I think it probably is Solo. You know, like in the sort of third person type thing he's talking about. I can't see it being like a leader. It could be the final boss if they want to carry on with that story sort of thing. But it just seemed a bit weird when he said it. I don't think they've kept him in check. I think it's something where they're thinking they're going to come back to in the future. It's one of them ones where you say it. And then once Cody's got his next AJ Styles fight out of the way and so on, they might then say, right, the Bloodline or Bad Line or whatever they're called will go after him, and they can go back to, we've got him in check, so he's got a month or so free from us, but we're going to come back and get him.
Cool. Just want to say good evening to Russ Morgan as well, who's in the chat. Hi, Russ. Mr. Tom thinks it's Dwayne. Mr. DJ. Mr. Maui himself. What's your thoughts, Jake, on the whole situation with the bloodline? Do you think there's still more to be added, more members? Or do you think Roman will return with other members rather than them recruit anymore?
I actually think that Roman will come back, but with better men. That's better than Solo, Tama, and Tamaloa, whatever fuck their name is. But I think Roman might bring Jacob because he has signed, didn't he, with WWE?
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they're just holding off about it.
But they're just and when his brother as well, Steeler, I think, with them and like Solo and the two brothers, Roman and the two brothers, like I don't know, like a 6-man or something possibly in the future, with like Heyman stuck in the middle, deciding which one to lean up to. But with all the promos and stuff, you see that he's more of Roman's side than Solo's.
Yeah.
All the backlash and stuff that's happening, but yeah, I think that will possibly happen in the future. Even if Jimmy is alright, then Roman comes with Jimmy and Jade together, or reunite them two together. Obviously, with their past, with breaking up and whatever. But I think it's either those two options, really, that I see.
Cool. Right, yeah. So we'll move on to the next segment, and it was AJ Styles retirement.
I can see how you can get them two confused.
Yeah, I mean, the only difference is different color suits in my eyes. But I don't know. I'll go to you first, Adam. I'm a bit frustrated with Cody. Not himself, but how he's been booked since becoming champion. It's a carbon copy of John Cena's title reign. I don't know if you've seen it. It's all over the internet or whatever.
Yeah, I'm saying that.
But literally, it's everything. You know, from Shinsuke Nakamura and Cena was A-Train. You got Mark Henry and it was AJ Styles. There's just so many comparisons. First of all, what did you make of the segment? And then secondly, I'm going to ask you a secondary question. How do you feel Cody Rhodes' booking's been since Mania?
The first one, in terms of the segment and the backstage bits beforehand, I don't often hate when stuff is telegraphed, and I don't mind when the audience are allowed to work out beforehand what's going to happen. But this was just kind of, I don't know. It literally felt like, well, what do we do? I don't know. Well, what about the Mark Henry thing? Okay, yeah, do the Mark Henry thing. It felt boring and lazy and obvious. I don't think anyone, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe, but I don't think anyone really believed that this was AJ retiring or whatever and was going to go wandering off to the applause. Like I say, often I'm okay with that, but this just felt a bit too kind of cookie cutter, as it were, a bit too kind of boilerplate, kind of also what I'm looking for, angle, whatever you want to call it. In terms of Cody's reign as a whole, I think it's not been spectacular yet, but bear in mind that we're only 2 months in. He's only had 1 or 2 PLE defenses so far. He's only had 1 or 2 feuds. Obviously, one of them was with a YouTuber. So, it's no offense to YouTubers, that's fine. But I think we've got to give it a bit more time. It probably does need a spark now. It probably does need something to ignite it. I think the thing with AJ will be a fantastic match. And that could be one of the things that really gets it going. It'll be a 10 out of 10 show-stealing match. So hopefully that'll push it on. And then, what I would do, I'd like to see something really spectacular built up for SummerSlam. Because it's probably, I'd give it a 6 or 7 out of 10 at the moment, Cody's reign. And I think it just needs a little bunk up with a big feud for SummerSlam to get it to an 8 or a 9.
Cool. And Craig, I'll go to you. It was good seeing, Gallows and Anderson. They actually were as involved. I know Mr. Tom doesn't like the Good Brothers. But what was your thoughts on it? Do you agree with Adam, or do you feel it's a bit carbon copy? Do you feel, it should be something new, not what we've seen before? Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to shit on the program. I love it bits, but I feel the same as Adam. It's just a bit frustrating. It just felt like I was watching that Mark Henry thing all over again. You
just knew it was coming. You just, you didn't for 1 second believe that was it. he was gone. You know, we'd never see him again. It was just repetitive. I mean, like Adam said, I think the match, I imagine, is going to be at Clash at the Castle. You know, it's going to be a good match. You know, and it could bump it up that little bit because it is a bit dull at the minute, isn't it? I don't know if they've just not got any sort of plan or direction or why they decided to do a literal copy of what we've already seen. I don't know, but like you said, like, not to shit on anything or, you know, slate the show, it's just do something unexpected maybe that we're actually going to think, oh, which way is this actually going to go, rather than just seeing something being repeated.
I mean, we was all sitting here last week and we were, you know, coming to the conclusion that it was going to be Randy and Cody and maybe Clash at the Castle or possibly SummerSlam. Tony, are you feeling the match, AJ and Cody? Is it going to go any differently from what we've seen before? And is that the problem?
I think it's very predictable. I don't think Cody is going to lose the belt. I can't see AJ winning it. I think, like we said, I think that I did hear rumblings that Randy might be his next opponent at SummerSlam, maybe. I mean, don't know. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like you said, it's just, they're not helping Cody much. They're just kind of giving him these storylines and these things and saying, like, this is what we're going to give you. Now you go and do the best you can with it. They're not like, there's nothing to really get your teeth in. Like, there's some things on Raw and SmackDown at the moment that are really, really interesting and really good. And unfortunately, this isn't one of them. Like I said, I don't want to be horrible to him and I don't want to start thing, but I just don't think it's much at the moment. I think you invest, like, I'm more invested in bloody Otis and Thing storyline.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like there's an actual story there. I mean, I get that he was going to retire because he couldn't get anything else, and I understand the whole ethic behind it, because obviously Adam Pearce said that you have to go to the back of the line, blah blah blah. So he took it in his own hands to make this up and do what he done. I get that. He's took advantage of it and he's got what he wants, but like you said, it's just a carbon copy of Mark Henry, and it's like people are going to start resenting Cody as well soon. I think I can see it. It's going to be exactly the same as John Cena. I can see it.
Could be a prediction, not a spoiler, mate. Or spoiler, not a prediction. Tariq, I have to come to you with Cody because obviously me and you were butting heads quite a bit at WrestleMania. You wanted Cody, I wanted Roman, and I wanted Roman for specifically storyline based. You know, I thought he would have had the better stories going forward, and I still think that's true. But what do you feel is the problem? And do you feel this match at Clash of the Castle needs something? You know, I don't know what we're talking. We could have Cody and Brandy versus AJ and Wendy. I don't know, something to make it that little bit more special.
You know that Teddy Long's not the SmackDown general manager, so we're not going to get like a mid tag match and so on.
Yeah.
But I think with Cody is that they've got a problem in terms of, because he's now the face of the company and he's because he's well presented and everything, he looks like a statesman. So naturally, they're making him like the John Cena of this generation, and like Sting was back in the 80s, early 90s, where it's that dependable good guy who sort of like the fans love, especially the kids. So he's doing that. But I was putting in the group chat that I'm fed up with Cody Rhodes. It's like before he wasn't. He was. What's so annoying is he was like, before, when he was fighting off Roman and the Bloodline, he wasn't gullible. They didn't have that. He was one step ahead of them and everything. He knew what he was doing. But it's like, you knew what was happening. You knew, like, come out to, like, AJ, come out to the ring when I call you and so on. He's like, yeah, I know what you're up to. I know your game. Be a bit defensive. But it's like that gullible it's like the lamb to the slaughter thing. It's like come here. I'm gonna, you're gonna get slaughtered, but come and all that. But I don't know. I think they're sort of spinning the wheels, which probably I think we're gonna get Randy fighting him at Clash of the Castle or SummerSlam type thing. But with Randy probably picking up the injury before King of the Ring, they sort of thought he's not fully healed, or the match might not happen, so let's go a different way, and AJ can just just have a good match, a good 15-minute match, like close falls, getting the Good Brothers back in as well might get a bit of unpredictability with who's going to win. Well, we know Cody's going to win anyway, but just for the Scottish fans, it might be like, yeah, AJ's got a chance, he might win it. 3-on-1 might be too much. But it's a bit dull. I think Cody probably needs a bit of a nastier streak as well when he's in the ring. When he's outside, when he's in his suit and so on, be the actual good guy and the statesman. But when he's in his proper gear in the middle of the ring, proper go fight, not Stone Cold Steve Austin style, but sort of like that when he's because he's got bits when he showed in the Logan Paul match when he was at the end, when he was like, right, I'm not going to give you one question, I'm going to give you 3, and so on. So he's got a nasty streak about it, but have that in the ring. So then it makes more matches, elevates them rather than being a bit boring as well.
Yeah, it's true. I think that's the problem, isn't it? Cody, where he's now the top baby face, he's got to do these things, and it kind of dampens his character a bit, doesn't it? What was your thoughts, Jake, on AJ? And do you feel him having the Good Brothers is good for his character? And obviously he wants to be proper heel now. And do you think that looks good going into Clash Castle?
Yeah, I think that will. It brings me back to the old styles when he first got the OC back.
Yeah.
When he did that promo with the Judgment Day. Yeah, I think that will bring him more. What's the word? More, well, not followers, but more heat with him. That with all that he's going proper heel with the Good Brothers, and maybe with Michin as well. But I don't think she's that happy with them. But yeah, I see them really being good together. Again, even bringing AJ that little boost that could hopefully make AJ. Well, I don't want to say that he will dethrone Cody, but probably down the line if it's Brandy he's facing or anyone else before. But I see he's got one title, well, possibly one title, one more title before he probably retires for real. But obviously he's got more down the line, but hopefully he does come out a winner at some point.
Cool. Excellent. And yeah, that was your top 5 things from Raw, 4 things from SmackDown, sorry. Is there anything else anyone wants to make a notable mention from SmackDown this past week? We had the LA Knight, Logan Paul.
One quick thing from me just occurred to me, and it's the SmackDown Raw and the PLE itself. A little bit kind of half-hearted King of the Ring ceremonies and presentations. They got kind of handed a crown, but before they used to have a big robe and a stage with a throne and scepter and all this. Yeah. I was kind of looking forward to that because it's kind of worked with I think with Nia Jax and going for that worked really well. But it kind of handed them a crown and said, "There you go, good luck, cheers, bye." So I think all right. I feel like they half-hearted it a little bit.
No, they did. I do, especially Gunther as well. He wasn't even on Raw this week as well, so it was a bit strange not to see him at all. But yeah, we'll go into Raw in a second. But yeah, what was your guys' ratings? Let's start off with you, Craig, for SmackDown.
I'd probably give it an 8. Yeah, I thought it was all right. Wasn't the best, wasn't the worst. Yeah, I would give it a 7.5, but you don't like them, so I'll go. Yeah, I'll go with an 8.
Cool, Craig. I'm not Craig. Sorry, Jake.
I know. Well, Craig just said it, but about the 0.5s. But sorry to break it, but I would say 7.5.
You just do it on purpose, you lot now. Yeah.
No.
No worries.
Just because of all the with Ellie, no, but well, not Ellie, no, but Carmelo's mistake.
Yeah.
And a bit of the argy bargy stuff with Nia, and yeah, I'm sure that's why. But yeah, it was good overall.
Cool.
But yeah.
Adam?
So I'm going to go a bit low this time. I'm going to go 6. Reason for that is I know there's a place for them, but there was a bit too much in-ring segments. We kind of opened with an in-ring, like, a non-wrestling segment, closed with a non-wrestling segment. There's quite a bit of backstage stuff as well. In fact, I think at one point I checked, the first match didn't get going to about the 20-minute mark. So it's one of the reasons I usually like SmackDown, is it focuses on the kind of bell-to-bell in-ring stuff. But yeah, for me, there's a bit too much non-wrestling content for this week. That's why I'm giving it a 6.
Cool. Tony?
I'll give it a 7. I think it was reasonably okay. I don't think it was the best SmackDown, but it wasn't by far the worst. I think Austin Theory done a good showing for himself. I really think he done well. I even liked the Apollo I wrote down in my notes, Apollo Crews against Andrade. Yeah, I think that was a good match as well. So yeah, I think it's 7 from me. I'll shut up now.
Tariq?
I'm glad that Adam gave it a 6, because I thought I was going to be a heel and give it a 6, but yeah, I'd give it a 6 as well. There's parts where, because I love what SmackDown, I stay up watching it live. I thought it'd be really good, but it was parts of it where I thought you could do better, like the Bloodline one with the tag match. Heyman goes, he wants that the two brothers, they're psychopaths, but when they're the match, they weren't showing as psychopaths, so it was a bit sort of. I was like, I wanted to see more, and that sort of thing, and then that Cody part at the end with AJ Styles.
Yeah,
I thought I didn't like it, so I was like, "Nah, give it a bit less." And my sort of wish was AJ Styles was, the Jordan Grace coming over to WWE, do one where AJ Styles goes back to TNA to challenge Moose for the title for a one night only type thing. I was hoping for that, because we're not going to see it now. I'd give it a low 6. Maybe a 5, but 6. Let's be a bit generous.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with you guys, Adam, and definitely 3 low scores for me. 5, I would even give it. I was just very, very disappointed, to be fair. And that's not shitting on it. That's just my opinion. Do you know what I mean? And it's, just what I didn't like. I'm not going to put that comment up, Mr. Tom. Sorry, because I don't want to play the video.
We also got a QR code as well.
Yeah, we've got the QR code, and there's another video.
I've gotten a bit into the QR codes at the minute. I've been doing Wrestling Days on X. He does a lot of the Nightbirds stuff. So I think one of the things, the QR code, it took you to an image and it said "Save yourself."
Yeah.
But the O had 2 red crosses and a smile and a sad face. Didn't Joe Gacy used to use 2 crosses for eyes?
Yeah, the sad face.
And the sad face.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are pointing towards that could potentially be a sign that he's coming on board.
Yeah, there was I think the thing, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but they played back one of Joe Gacy's, I think it was like one of his last promos.
Oh, from November.
Yeah, where you can hear Uncle Howdy's voice in the background, or way in the background, or they're whispering something. You can vaguely hear it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
Going with what Mr. Tom just put as well. There's also one of the journal entrances. If you look at the first letter of each line, it spells out June and then 17 in Roman numerals.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of this that they're pointing towards that Raw after Clash at the Castle. So, I mean, Tony might eventually get it right. But saying that, I'm putting it out there now. They might. I don't think Bliss will be there.
Yeah.
Oh God.
How dare you?
No, I'm
Tony will need compassionate leave or something.
I'm putting it out there now, mate. Sorry. I think from what I've been reading, seeing on it, I've just gone down this rabbit hole, mate. It might even be me that's Uncle Audi at this point. But I don't think she's coming back till SummerSlam.
Cool. So what we're going to do, I think next week's show will be a Clash of the Castles prediction show, but then we're going to spend the second half of the show just discussing Uncle Howdy, because obviously it's a massive topic at the moment. I think we can just dissect it and our thoughts on what we feel. So yeah, we'll go into Raw then. I'll go to you, Craig. I'll show you the picture, and then you can just go for it, mate. Tell me what you're thinking.
I think any straight man, even maybe anyone who's not straight, wishes that they were Dom Mysterio in that moment. She knows what she's doing. The reins are off. She's, from what we understand, she's single in real life. She's playing on it, mate. She's loving life. She is teasing him a treat. What Mr. Tom just put, literally Margaret Thatcher naked on a cold day, Austin Powers jobby. I just absolutely love Pat McAfee breaking it down.
Yeah.
Like he was not making eye contact, and because if he had, he'd be gone, mate. He would have melted like butter.
I tell you.
Yes, it's brilliant. She knows what she's doing. She's proper teasing. And Dom is either playing it really, really well that he's not interested, but I think there's more to it. 100%.
I mean, I'm sitting there watching it with the missus eating dinner, and I'm sweating and my fork's shaking. So it's like, I don't know how Dom's getting, doing it. To be fair,
Dom's got to be one of them.
Luckily, I'm watching it, and the missus is at work, so I can just sit here like, I'll just rewind that again quickly.
Ask the dude wipes.
I wouldn't even use them. How dare you?
Yeah, Dom's got to be probably one of the luckiest guys. He's got a real life girlfriend. Well, I meant wife.
Wife, yeah.
Then Rhea, and then Liv. Like a love
triple threat ladder match.
Yeah.
For custody.
Contract.
Tony, I'll go to you for the next bit. Finn Balor, what are you doing, mate? You're no wingman.
He is a Spurs fan.
Yeah, he can tell he's a Spurs fan.
I really think that they're in on it. I think the three of them are in on it. They're all together, because if you go back, I think it was about 2-3 years ago, Finn and Liv were together like a tag team. They did stuff together. I think it was wasn't it that mixed match challenge thing?
Yeah.
And they did something there, so there is some chemistry.
Because wasn't there a part where they were actually feuding with the Judgment Day when it was Edge, Priest,
Damian Priest,
who's the other one?
Rhea, wasn't it? No.
Yeah, it was. It was AJ and Finn and Liv versus them three.
That's it. It was AJ, Finn, and Liv. Yeah.
And the thing is, we know they like long-term storyline telling. They love all that old things, bringing it back. So I could see them three just literally turning and getting rid of that big head and then attacking
Mega Mind.
Yeah. And then they could even help Drew. They could help Drew win the title at Clash at the Castle. Accidentally somehow, and that's what I think Finn's up to at the moment.
There's not too much to really talk about the segment, is there? Is there anybody else?
I mean, there is.
There is, but
we won't.
It's
9:16 in the evening, and I think my missus watches it back up online upstairs anyway, so I don't want to get myself in trouble. So yeah, we'll go on to the next segment. I'm gonna what can I say? Talk to me about Braun Breaker and what is going on with him in his story. This whole King of the Ring business, he can't let it go. Are they building him right to be like? That's the kind of question I want to put to you. Do you think they're doing enough to make him this badass? What he's got on the back of his tights?
It feels like a Goldberg 2.0 a little bit.
Or right back.
Yeah. Can't really add more. I mean, like, he looks good. Like, looks really, really good. but is it just, you know, these jobbies until, well, not job, you know, Ricochet's not a job, but, you know, just racking up these W's and impress if he goes on a streak, and then what? You know, do they put him against Drew or whoever's, you know, Punk or Cody or whoever it is, or are they all doing this just to chuck him in the United States picture, or, you know, or the Intercontinental, wherever it is he ends up? Like, I just, he looks good. His matches are entertaining. He comes across as, you know, an absolute unit, but it's just where it's going.
Well, we kind of saw that at the end, didn't we, when Dragunov came out? And
Yeah.
I must admit, I was a bit taken aback because when we also saw Dragunov in a suit from behind, and the agents were already there. And Dragunov, you know, he's a great, comparatively he's not a big one. I just thought he was one of the agents. So when I saw him duck and then clobber Braun Breaker, I was like, what the fuck? And then it took me a couple of seconds to realise it was actually Dragunov. And yeah, obviously that's what it's going to build to. Probably not a Clash of the Castle now, maybe even Money in the Bank, or maybe even SummerSlam might build it a bit slower. And I think that'd be a hell of a match. That'll be a solid hour and a half, Dragunov against Braun Breaker. And yeah, I think he's been built really well. You know, we're talking about him. They're keeping it short and sweet and intense. He's not doing too much talking. He's doing a lot of beating up. And at this point, that's exactly what he should be doing, in my opinion.
I think it's this Monday on Raw. Braun Breaker and Dragunov. Yeah. I'm sure I saw it advertised.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
I'm built then. Okay.
I'm sure.
Build not nice and slow for a week.
But is it eventually probably, Tariq, going to build to like a triple threat match with all three of them?
Yeah, it could do. I think what it is with the match that was on Monday, Braun Breaker, normally his matches are like over in 3 seconds or 4 seconds. It's not just a quick spear, it's over. But with this match, it was like 7-8 minute match. So it's like where Ricochet got some offense in and looked like he was actually putting him down. So you can sort of see that the break they're looking at, he's unstoppable, but now he's getting into someone who's seasoned. So longer match. The Dragunov one might be about quite a back and forth match. It might be quite good and so on. But I think they want to showcase more of Breaker's skills now, because he's a fantastic wrestler. He's better be with his family, especially watching him do Scott Steiner's Frankenstein off the top rope. That was fantastic. So it's like just seeing them things, that it'll be get more matches in. Ricochet and Dragunov will argue with each other, and I can see it being like a little a triple threat stroke Survivor Series time before Breaker moves on to US title or Intercontinental, whichever one it is, and on his brand. He'll get to that point later on, but I can see them having a blow off at Survivor Series.
Yeah. And Jake, what's your thoughts on Braun Breaker? What could you potentially see him going into Money in the Bank?
I potentially see all of them being in Money in the Bank. Dragunov, Ricochet, and Braun, and that might set something more up. Like with what Tariq said, Dragunov and Ricochet, I think that might settle it into like a triple threat or something, or even with if Logan Paul gets into the Money in the Bank, like what he did last year, or was it last year or the year before?
Yeah, last year him and Ricochet did that move, didn't they? So yeah.
I think that will set up for the either a fatal 4-way for the United States Championship, possibly. But yeah, I think that might happen.
Cool. And I'll go to you, Tony, the next part. The segment with Sami Zayn and Chad Gable. Well, it wasn't Chad Gable at first, was it? It was a note. And, Otis and Tozawa, and it eventually ended with Maxine Dupree getting injured and Otis carrying them all out. What did you make of the segment, mate? I know you said earlier you was, invested in this storyline a lot more than the Cody one. It is good storytelling, though. It is building up.
Yeah, I think they're doing a great job with it. I think Maxine coming out reading a letter because Chad couldn't be bothered to come out and grace him with his presence, or, well, we believe that was what it was. And I think that again, I think the way he's treating them, I could still see him possibly winning the Intercontinental belt, but realistically, Otis or even Maxine or even Tozawa is going to cost him. It'd be so funny because he was literally taking an absolute piss out of all of them, and you're like, you're standing there thinking, oh, come on, Otis, you're a big fella, just jump in the way. And like I said last week, the moment that he gets in there, that pop when he hits him eventually, it's going to be so loud, and you could just see from when he stood in front of him, everyone was, and then obviously attacked him from behind, and then hell broke loose after that. Do you know what I mean? And then what did make me laugh was Otis picked them both up when they fell on the floor. He picked up Maxine and Tozawa just casually just walking like their bags of been shopping. Yeah, but it's a good storyline. I mean, it's really good. It's intriguing. I mean, you all know roughly where it's going to go, but there's a few different endings. So again, it's either or. So it's interesting.
Cool. And Adam,
better than.
Oh, sorry, go
on. No, it's fine.
Oh, better than Cody, what you going to say?
Yeah.
And Adam, I know you've said it before, and you want Gable to actually win that title. Do you feel that would make the storyline even better if Gable was to actually pick up the title?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's got to lead to that ultimately. I mean, Chad Gable as a babyface had 2 or 3 failed attempts at the Intercontinental title. If they have him try and fail again, it's going to be difficult to build his credibility up from there. And I think with Sami Zayn, beating Gunther for the title, that was all about that moment. It's all about the kind of the chase, all about ending the streak, as it were. I don't think Sami needs a long Intercontinental title reign. He's had that before. He's had US titles before, I think. So, yeah, I suspect soon Chad Gable winning the Intercontinental title will be a part of the story. It won't be the ending of it. It'll be kind of the beginning of the end, if you know what I mean, in that maybe Otis will help him and it'll be reluctant or it'll accidentally help him. It'll be ambiguous. Was he trying to hit Sami? Was he trying to hit Chad? But either way, it worked out that Chad won the title and Chad's, on the face of it, happy with Otis and everybody else. And then from that point, we get kind of the ending of this angle where it results in maybe, I don't know, Chad against Otis at SummerSlam or just after that for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, could do. And then Craig, I'll go to you the next segment. Basically, everyone online thought this was the moment that the Wyatt Six were going to appear. It was when Jay was declaring himself for the Money in the Bank. It was a strange one because he did the promo up on the stage, with the fans, and literally, I don't know if any of you guys watched it live or if you watch back anybody who does reactions to Raw. They were all looking out for someone in the crowd to see if they could spot anything. And it literally just was him saying he's going to be in Money in the Bank. There's a lot of rumors saying that they could be going after him. This whole Flyer Fires business, he's nicked the Flyer Fires and all this stuff. What was your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I thought it was good. The camera work again, the way it was on him, and then he just sort of come out and was given the promo. I didn't really, because again, going back to what I've been watching, and I now lead a sad, sad life looking into everything. I didn't think they were going to show up then just because of this June 17th stuff, but it was interesting that so many people, I think I saw quite a lot of videos, like people who were there in the crowds going, oh my God, like someone had like a long black coat on and they were like, oh my God, it's Uncle Howdy. But like he turned around and it was just a geezer genuinely in a long black leather coat. I mean, the promo was good. We've mentioned him potentially being in Money in the Bank previously on the shows, so I don't think it's a surprise to kind of know that he's going to be in it. I think it was more surprising that he's talking about it already, considering you've got Clash at the Castle, you've got SummerSlam. You don't really, because when is Money? Is it the next one after SummerSlam?
I'm guessing,
yeah. Before SummerSlam, after Clash at the Castle, July.
Oh, is it?
Oh, July,
okay.
yeah.
But
it's in Germany.
Oh, yeah.
And we got Bash in Berlin as well.
And Bash in Berlin as well, yeah.
Oh, was that one? Maybe I'm getting confused. I thought.
Oh, yeah,
Bash was in Germany.
So if we got Clash at the Castle, Bash at Berlin, then Money in the Bank, then SummerSlam?
No, then SummerSlam, then I think Money in the Bank.
I thought it is after SummerSlam. Yeah, right,
so.
okay.
So Money in the Bank will be in the summer.
The fact that you've got potentially 3 premium live events before SummerSlam, before Money in the Bank, I think it was just more surprising that he was talking about it like this. Like, does that mean he's not going to be involved at Clash at the Castle? What's his plans for SummerSlam? Like, where does we talk about like where are other people's stories? Like, where are they going? Who their next opponent's going to be? Like, Money in the Bank's quite a while away. Like,
it's not. It's next month. It's in Canada.
Is it?
Is it?
Canada.
Yeah, it's in July.
July.
Oh, so it is after Clash at the Castle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. You can't edit live, can you? Well, in that case, then all right. He hasn't announced it early. Then I clearly don't know what I'm chatting about. And yeah, see you later.
Tariq, do you kind of agree with what Mr. Tom said in here in the chat? That they don't. Well, obviously, we know what they're doing with him, Money in the Bank, but with regards to like every other week on on Raw and stuff like that, he's not really got any feuds to go off, is he, at the moment?
No, and the thing is, I 100% agree with Mr. Tom. He's just spinning his wheels, and it's like he's over with the crowd. He's got his fireflies. He's so cool and the entrance and everything. I think with him actually saying I'm going in the Money in the Bank, he's got to be like a surefire winner for it. Because if he's not got I think with him having the briefcase, it's exciting because they'll be like, it's finally Jeyuso's time to win the title. He could win it anytime. So it'd be one of them ones where he needs to get the Money in the Bank right now, because if it's like he'll just be spinning his wheels until you get to Roman Reigns coming back and then saying, come back into our bloodline, which could be God knows how long.
So, sorry to laugh, mate, but Tony has just pointed out to me that my head perfectly fits on Rhea Ripley's body.
Yeah, it does.
Fantastic.
That is a danger one if I've ever seen it. I don't know whether to be turned off, to be completely honest with you.
It's yeah, I might have to re-edit these pictures. Let me move over here. Or actually, here you go.
Nah, it don't work.
I get it, yeah.
But no, let me go back over there. Give you a laugh. But yeah, but it's interesting to see what they'll do with Jey. Like you say, if he wins it, then obviously, yeah, it's the excitement because he could cash it in, obviously, at any time. So it keeps his momentum going. So yeah, I agree with you on that point, definitely. And then we closed Raw out where we had the Judgment Day looking strong. Drew McIntyre come down, didn't he, to try and attack Damian Priest, but it kind of backfired, didn't it? And he ended up being put through the table. Adam, is that just the usual make the champion look strong going into a pay-per-view?
Yeah, I think so. Just as more of a general comment, what I've enjoyed with the Judgment Day, it's kept a nice thread going throughout the show, which, when wrestling's at its best, they kind of have going on. So you had obviously Liv and Dom at the start. You had Balor attack Dragon Lee, and then Dragon Lee came back out and attacked him a bit later. It's all kind of threading stuff together, threading segments together, threading the 3 hours together. And yeah, I think the thing they had to do there was, like you say, make the champion look strong. It's an interesting dynamic and one I'm kind of enjoying where Drew's certainly not a baby face, but he's also not I've kind of mentioned it several times, he's kind of a nice shade of grey at the moment, which often doesn't work, but I think it does with him. And obviously, I think they know he'll be getting the massive babyface pop in Glasgow, or is it Glasgow, Edinburgh, wherever it is, Scotland, no difference. So yeah, it's the right way to end it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the match.
Cool. I'll go to you, Craig. Is there any possibility that Drew wins it? And obviously, it's in Scotland, and there's a strong chance. But we heard Michael Cole say, if Drew had any thoughts on that he's a transitional champion, he should be worried. I don't want you to reveal your predictions now because that's next week. But it's hard to say, isn't it? Without revealing your prediction too much, is there a strong possibility he could actually win it?
I'm I'm neither for nor neither against the idea of the possibility of either outcome.
If I speak, I'm in trouble.
Does that help answer your question?
Yeah.
I'm not giving anything away,
Crazy
mate.
politician.
Yeah. You was on that debate last night.
Yeah, they are.
Cool. And yeah, all right. We'll leave that there because obviously we don't want to reveal their predictions for next week. But I'll just touch on that subject quickly then to close Raw, what Mr. Tom put in with the whole New Day stuff. I'm a bit confused with it. I don't know why Karrion Kross wants Woods. I mean, I'll open up the floor. Any of you guys, has anybody got any thoughts and feelings on where it's going or what potentially it could mean other than the New Day breaking up?
Yeah, I think Woods is going to join Karrion Kross. He's going to walk out. It's going to be one of them ones where he's going to go. I think it's sort of like in the 90s, 93 or 94 when the Hart brothers were a tag team together, and Owen walked out and Brett. It'd be like, I think because Big E's not coming back now, there's no chance he'll come back as a wrestler. Yeah. So they're thinking New Day aren't really doing anything apart from a couple of comedy sketches. Get one where Kingston can have his little babyface run and happy-go-lucky, but Woods has a serious guy. He could say, "I was king of the ring, and now I'm just sidekick to you." So it could start a feud off and him joining the Final Testament.
Yeah. Anybody else? Any thoughts as well?
Could it be Big E coming back as not as a wrestler, but as a kind of manager / accomplice to them, and we see them kind of splitting up, about to split up? I'm thinking kind of in a more light-hearted Bret Hart getting in between Owen and Bulldog in '97 to restart the Hart Foundation. Maybe something like that. That's more wishful thinking than a prediction, though, to be fair.
Yeah. It's interesting. We'll see what happens. So yeah, guys, that was your Raw for the week. I'll run around and get some reviews off you, ratings. Sorry. So Tariq, you first, mate.
I would give it. I'm going to be very generous here. I'm going to give it a 9. It was really good, and I think what I mentioned before. It flowed from the start to finish with Liv and Dom sort of the Judgment Day getting involved. You thought storylines were there, then matches, but then Braun Strowman got beaten up by him, and then Judgment Day at the end and everything. And there's other storylines they were building up. There was a tag match where the Scottish tag team got involved. You thought they're building more storylines. And I mentioned to you that they had Kiana beat Natalya for a couple of minutes, and it was good where Sonya Deville was trying to recruit different people. And with Natalya back using the Owen Hart's "enough is enough" and it's time for a change, I thought, wow, something's happening with Natalya here as well. So there's bigger storylines being built. So a solid 9 from me.
Cool. Tony?
Well, I only ended up watching the first 4 or 5 matches, and then the rest of it I didn't get a chance to watch. So I'm going to give it a solid 8 for the ones I watched, because obviously the Sami Zayn segment was good. The Dragon Lee against Finn Balor was good. The Sheamus against Kaiser, I think it was a great match. And obviously the start segment with Liv and Dom. So I'd give it probably an 8 out of 10.
Cool. I'm just looking at the group chat. Thanks for that, Greg. Adam?
So yeah, I'm going to go high as well. I probably agree with Tarek and go with a 9.
Jesus.
I already kind of mentioned the the thread throughout the show with the Judgment Day and the storylines tying in together. I'll figure out in a second what everybody's laughing at once I've finished speaking.
Yeah, you'll see when you look in the group chat.
Yeah, I'll look in the group chat in a minute. What was I saying? So yeah, the storylines, people are engaged in the storylines. There's kind of new faces like Braun Breaker and Dragunov, and interesting things happening, and we know what's going on next week now. So yeah, I think they're booking Raw really well. Particularly, it's difficult with a 3-hour show to do episodically, if that's the word. So yeah, I'm going to give them a very high 9 out of 10.
Cool. Jake?
I would put it as an 8 out of 10. The show was incredible. Definitely better than SmackDown. With they're building up more rivalries, like with Sheamus and Kaiser, Bloodline with whatever they're doing. Dom and Liv, it's going quite good with the and with Jay's promo that just knocked it off as well. It was really good. I don't think the only thing was, I know what people probably say, but I'm just getting bored with the backstage with Kofi and Xavier. I actually want something to happen. Like either someone betrays another. Karrion Kross whispers to Xavier to go on, do it, like betray him. You need to, or whatever. I just want that to get over with now.
Cool. Craig?
I don't really think I can add much going last. I'd give it a 9.
Yeah.
Pretty much for most of the reasons that people have already said. It was a pretty good show. It ended with making Priest looking strong going into that feud. It's setting up things to happen for Clash at the Castle. Yeah, some good storytelling. So yeah, I can't really add much more to what anyone said. So yeah, I'll give it a 9.
Cool, excellent. Right, so that was your Raw and SmackDown. And something we're going to do a little bit different this week is I've asked the guys all to tell me their favourite matches ever. We'll start with you, Craig. So what match did you choose, mate? Let the audience know and you can explain.
I went with The Rock and Stone Cold at WrestleMania 17. I think I've mentioned it, when we've spoken about it before. Just the build-up, the promo video that they cut, just the match itself for me. There was a few other good matches you could have picked from that WrestleMania alone. But for me, that was, just the build up, we talked about it with, they missed the talent with Drew and Seth when we were building up for WrestleMania, just the build up just got you hyped for the main, for that main event. I loved it. For me, it was a 10 out of 10 personally.
Cool. And just say, Mr. Tom, we all saw her. We definitely saw Jim on SmackDown.
That might be the next edit. You could put Mitch in there instead of Rhea, and
keep my head off of these bodies, please. Thank you very much. Adam, we'll go to you next, mate. What was your favourite match?
So mine was Brett versus Owen, 1994, but SummerSlam, the cage match. I know when you say Brett Owen 94, I wouldn't expect you to say the WrestleMania 10, which was great as well, don't get me wrong. But again, I've kind of mentioned it on this show before. I think I have a bit of nostalgia for 94. It was the first year I started watching properly. I had a couple of Hulk Hogan videos and that, but this was when I first started following wrestling. And Bret Hart was my favourite. And Owen, even though he was a baddie, I kind of liked him as well. And oddly, I didn't want them to get together. I liked the fact that they were at each other's throats and feuding. And even to this day, that kind of, dungeon kind of technical style is my favourite type of wrestling. That kind of counter holds and reversals and just the kind of the storytelling, I guess, that they both are capable of doing, and Bret Hart in particular. It's the first time I'd really seen the blue cage kind of in action. I remember the superplex off the top at one point. And I liked the finish as well. The finish was kind of interesting and realistic. Do you know what I mean? It was good. It was kind of reminiscent of the ladder match, Razor and Shawn, where one of them got kind of tangled up to let the other escape or win. So I thought it was, really well booked, really liked it. I've watched it back several times. It was believable. It was intense in a good way. It felt like a real competition between two guys trying to one-up each other. And that's why it's my favourite.
Yeah, I have to agree to you. Mr. Tom agrees as well. It is probably one of the best cage matches ever, to be fair. It's, if you haven't had the chance to see it, or if you're a younger fan, watch it in. Definitely that one I'll watch on the network. Proper good match. Tony, over to you. Your favourite match?
Yeah, I've gone for a bit more recent. I've gone for a 2012 Undertaker Triple H, Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, the referee when he was, gone for the Undertaker and Triple H with Shawn Michaels as a referee. Again, I think that it was the fact that it built from years and years before, and I think it all just crescendoed into this one match. And I think that then, if you wanted someone to have a match and the personalities and the attitudes and everything just linked in. They just did it perfectly. I think the one spot that everyone will remember is the super kick to the pedigree, and then he's got the 2 count. It was like such near the 3. I think they just literally had, because everyone was thinking, right, he's going to lose his streak this year. He's got to lose it. He's fighting against 2 people in there basically. But yeah, it was such a good match, and I think at the end, I think the picture you just put up was one I was crying. I don't care. I admit I was crying. I was like, that's it. And then the thing is that was the last time. Oh no, it wasn't. It was that dreaded match they had in thing with Kane.
We don't talk about that.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
never happened.
So
that never happened.
okay, so that was the last time we see all 3 of them on a WWE programming together. And it was just everything about it. Everything about it was good. And the thing was, it got a Slammy Award as well for the year, and also Pro Wrestling Illustrated gave it Match of the Year as well. So yeah, it was really good.
Definitely worthy.
That's one of the ones I was going. I ended up getting carried away and sending Jonezy quite a few because there was so. And that was one of the ones that I was literally about to send him, and he said, "Mate, I only need one."
You could do your own episode.
Yeah,
mate. Honestly, that's the thing. There's just so many that are close or near a belt, and yeah.
The thing is, what's good about it, I could ask you the same thing next week, and you might give me a different match. Do you know what I mean? Because there's that many matches that you probably love.
And the thing is, you asked us it right at the beginning when we first started. Like you asked us, what was the first wrestling match we've seen live in person? What was the favourite one you've seen? And it was all different answers we gave you.
Yeah.
So it changes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Tariq, over to you, mate.
I had a couple as well, but the one that sort of, because I love the whole pay-per-view, it's my favourite pay-per-view ever. SummerSlam 91, Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect for the Intercontinental title. It was one of them ones where Mr. Perfect was on fire. He was winning everything, and Bret Hart had just come out the Hart Foundation. So it was a good match in terms of technical. Started off well, like Adam was saying, but he liked the technical matches at the start. I like that where the first 5 minutes were like holds, arm bars, headlocks, and so on, and it all built up. And with that one, it sort of helps that they had the commentary pair of Gorilla Monsoon, Bobby Heenan, and Roddy Piper on. So you know, like Gorilla calling the plays, Heenan being the heel he was, and Gorilla putting him back in his place. It brought the whole thing together with a match, and with Mr. Perfect being really good. He had a back injury at the time anyway, so even though you could tell he was struggling, he put on a brilliant match, and no one actually kicked out of his perfect plex until Bret Hart did that at the time. I was watching it, and I thought, when he hit the perfect plex, I was like, I'm a big Bret Hart fan. So I was like, oh my God, he's lost it. And him kicking out and then actually winning the sharpshooter, I was like so excited just watching that match. So I think that's been my favourite.
Cool. And Mr. Tommy, I have to agree. I was there that night as well. The triple power bomb to Taker through the table. Yeah, it was a great night, to be fair, at the O2. I do miss it. I haven't been for a while. I need to try and go again. And yeah, he also agrees, yeah, Mr. Perfect made Bret Hart look like a star that night. Yeah, it was a great match. Another one for you young fans to watch if you haven't had the chance. That's what the network's there for. We don't just say they're good. They actually are really good matches. And Jake, over to you, mate.
My one's a bit of a odd one, but I was going to say when Dolph Ziggler cashed in his Money in the Bank against Alberto Del Rio, after every time I watch that match, even that picture, it's giving me like goosebumps every time I either watch it. When the music hits, after when Alberto got into I think it was a title match, and then right after, I think he got beaten pretty bad, and all I remember is that picture of when he's in that corner and all you hear is Dolph Ziggler's music, and everyone, even the whole place erupted. It was like almost like a earthquake or something happened. It was that loud. Every time I see it, I have a time I see it, it gives me goosebumps. That zigzag when he did right at the end, and everyone went crazy for that 1, 2, 3. And that's why Dolph Ziggler is one of my favourites as well from that moment. And even talking about it gives me goosebumps about it. And obviously the other matches that other people have seen, I haven't seen I will give the Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect match a watch, and the Owen Hart one and Bret Hart. I'll definitely see that one because I'm a bit of a fan of Bret Hart as well. But yeah, that was all there was loads of choices.
Yeah, you can choose
all of them. Well, many good choices. I had loads, but that was probably the one that I really enjoyed.
Cool.
But yeah, that's my favourite match.
Cheers. Thanks for that, guys. Mine's actually Roman Reigns winning at last year's WrestleMania. Favourite match ever, Tree. Loved it.
Not this year.
Not this year. No, we won't mention this year. But yeah, let's go into some news with Tony.
So I'm going to start off with Randy Orton this week. He was doing some interviews with various people this week, and he stated in there that he's talked about the man that we shall not name, but he said that he's given him so many opportunities, and he would like to thank him. He's given him opportunities and things like that, but unfortunately, he said that what happened. The company is in a good place now. But he did actually go on to say that the people in charge now, and I've got it here and I'm quoting it, the people in charge now understand how important it is to have families at home and go for birthdays, Thanksgiving and Christmas. He stated that he did a Raw on a Monday and it was his daughter's birthday and he couldn't go. So it was like he had to stay at Raw, but obviously with the new regime now, he's getting more time off to go and celebrate with family. He also revealed that when he was 35, so it was a few years back, we all know that he has had trouble with his back and his neck over the last few years. He directly asked him if he could reduce his schedule. And he said, no, I need you at all the shows. You're going to be there. So, yeah, I think Randy's again, it shows in his work that he's enjoying it now. And I think that, that's pretty much across the board. Everyone's enjoying themselves. So anyway, on to next piece of news. Tiffany Stratton has been signed to a company to represent her for all brand partnerships, acting, book signings, speaking arrangements, TV, film, amongst other things. So obviously they're looking at shooting her to the moon and not trying to turn her into Cameron Grimes, but, they're trying to shoot her to Hollywood apparently, because she even said herself a couple of months back, I think it was that she said that she only sees herself doing this for 5 years because she wants to be in Hollywood after that. I mean, take that as you will, but she's doing a pretty good job at the moment. But then the company that assigned her have said that they want to put her in the same projection as John Cena, The Rock, Batista, John Cena. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. That one. Next is from Raw, Sheamus and Kaiser. Yeah, what a banger that was. I mean, Sheamus he's got slaps on his chest. He's literally worn to pieces. But the person that produced that was Abyss, the former TNA star. So he's been working for WWE for a few years now. And he produced this match, but also produced the Gunther and Sheamus match the other weeks. So yeah, he's doing some really, really good work. So yeah, let's hope that continues. Can't do any worse than Kurt Angle's Sunday. Anyway, and the last piece of news is about WWE contracts. It seems like basically the minimum payment for a WWE superstar gets in a year at the moment is £350,000 a year. That's the minimum that they get on the Raw or SmackDown. They call it the main roster, but we'll go with Raw and SmackDown. So yeah, that's the minimum, and I haven't got the exact high on. I'd imagine Cody's on at least 3-4 times that. I'd imagine the Rock and all them are whatever they're on. But also on contracts, I've got a list of contracts that are actually running up in 2024. So obviously we've had Drew, Seth, Becky, Chad Gable's contract is rumored to be running up as well. I think there was an LWO member that it was during the week. I can't remember who it was, and I haven't got it here. But the people also in 2024 is AJ Styles, Alexa Bliss, Angelo Dawkins, Big E, Pete Dunne, LA Knight, Montez Ford, Randy Orton, Pat McAfee. I could go on, but there are just a few. So it seems like they've got a lot of negotiating to do this year to get them all signed up. So yeah, that's the news.
Cheers. Thank you very much, Tony. We'll shoot straight into Craig's Fact of the Week.
Right. So this one's about Bret Hart. So of Bret Hart's 5 WWF Championship wins, his first was the only one where he won the belt via the sharpshooter in a match against Ric Flair at a house show in 1992, which I thought was a bit, considering he had 5 championship wins and only one of them by winning with the sharpshooter. Yeah. Even I took back by that one a little bit.
Yes, but you would think there would have been, a hell of a lot more. Yeah, he did. He loved the schoolboy, didn't he? Well,
yeah,
that's the wrong thing to say. He loved the roll up, not a schoolboy. Let's call it a victory roll.
Jonesy just got us cancelled.
Yeah. From Bret Hart's lawyers tomorrow morning, you'll be getting a phone call.
The phone's ringing. Oh, shit. But okay, guys, just before we go, actually, tomorrow we will hit an important milestone for the channel, to be fair. We finally have our longest reigning TRT predictions champion. So, can we all congratulate Craig on 23 days tomorrow?
I acknowledge.
Cheers, thank you.
So yeah, next week's show will be predictions, obviously, for Clash of the Castle, and I'm sure you guys will want that. I will be throwing out bonus points as well to make it juicy as well, and to try and get a determined winner and not have a quiz. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, I think that I go. Mr. Tom's here. 23 days. Roman Reigns over there. There he is. Acknowledge him.
Reigns over here.
But thank you, Mr. Tom, for being in the chat as well tonight. And all that's left for me to do is thank you guys. So thank you, Craig, for coming on tonight.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Cheers. Thank you. And Jake, thank you very much for coming on.
Cheers. Thank you.
Adam, always a pleasure, sir. Thank you very much.
Likewise. Thanks, Jonesy. Glad to be back.
Excellent. Always great to have you back here, mate. Tony, thank you very much. I know you had a quite difficult day, but you got on. You got your news done. Thank you for that.
Yep, no problem. Thank you, Jonesy.
There you go, mate. Just to cheer you up before you go to bed.
Oh, cheers. I was going to say more Rikishi than Roman Reigns, but
I'm going to switch for a place over there next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Tariq, thank you very much, mate, as well.
Thanks for having me. I can't wait for next week now.
Yeah, he's desperate for that
He's
belt.
well up for
my
it.
title.
He's well up for
He's
it.
been trying to make belts up in the WhatsApp group. He's desperate for a title, mate.
He wanted the Alexa Bliss prediction belt, didn't he?
Yeah, Jesus, like North American, Intercontinental, US, whatever.
24/7, 9/11.
7-Eleven, Safeway, Morrison's, Iceland champ.
He wanted one for winning the quiz. Like,
Yeah, it was everything. But do join us next week, guys, for, like I say, a prediction. And then after Clash of the Castle, we are going to do a quiz as well, which we'd love all of you guys to get involved in the chat. All that's left for me to say is have a great week, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you. Good night.